Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Imagine the scene. The NFL offseason has been buzzing with rumors, trades, and shakeups, but there's one story that could shake up the entire AFC North and honestly, the entire league. And it's centered around one of the most talented wide receivers in the league right now, Terry McLaurin. Yes, the same Terry McLaurin who's been a cornerstone for the Washington Commanders in recent years. The whispers, the speculation, the insider reports all point to one undeniable fact. McLaurin might be on the move, and the team that's being talked about as a potential landing spot is none other than our Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I know what you're thinking. The Steelers have always been known for their stout defense and their gritty, disciplined offense, but this offseason, they've made it clear they're all in on winning another Lombardi. With the signing of veteran quarterback Aaron Rodgers, they're stacking the deck, trying to make a real push for the title. But if they really want to take that final step, they're going to need more firepower on offense. And that's where McLaurin could come in, fitting perfectly into the Steelers' plans to elevate their attack and challenge the best teams in the league. Let's back up a little and look at the situation with McLaurin himself. The player has been nothing but consistent since entering the league. Over the past 5 seasons, he's posted at least 0 yards receiving every year, with his rookie year just missing out. Last season alone, he hauled in 82 catches for over 96 yards and scored 13 touchdowns. That's elite production, folks, and it's exactly what a team like the Steelers needs. They're looking for a reliable, explosive wide receiver who can run precise routes, but also break away for those big plays. McLaurin fits that mold perfectly. His ability to get open, combined with his speed and agility, makes him a nightmare for defenses. But what makes this story even more intriguing is the contract situation. McLaurin has been vocal about wanting to get paid for his consistent performance, and understandably so. After all, he's been a key piece for Washington, and he's earned his money. Yet, the Commanders have been firm in negotiations, holding tight to their valuation. They're not in a rush to trade him, but there's an underlying notion that if the right offer comes along, they might have to consider it. And that's what has NFL insiders speculating. Could this be the year McLaurin finally moves on? And if so, which team is best positioned to make that move? Enter the Pittsburgh Steelers. Rumors have been swirling that a trade scenario has been proposed, one that could change the landscape of the AFC North forever. According to Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, there's a hypothetical deal floating around where the Commanders send McLaurin to Pittsburgh. Now, it's important to emphasize this is just speculation, but the details are compelling. The proposed trade would send McLaurin to the Steelers in exchange for a second-round pick in 2026 and wide receiver Calvin Austin III. Now, anyone who follows the Steelers knows Calvin Austin is a promising young player, but the real prize here is McLaurin, and a second-rounder isn't too steep a price for a player of his caliber. Think about the fit. The Steelers have a solid core of offensive weapons, but adding McLaurin would give them that elite, game-changing receiver they've been missing. Imagine McLaurin lining up alongside DK Metcalf, another big target with speed. The defense of the Steelers has been bolstered this summer with veteran signings, creating what looks like one of the strongest units in the league. Now, with an upgraded offense powered by Rodgers and a fresh, talented weapon like McLaurin, Pittsburgh could seriously be considered a top contender in the AFC. They've already proven they're willing to go all in, so this move would make perfect sense from a strategic point of view. And let's not forget what this means for the team's overall offensive dynamic. McLaurin isn't just a deep threat. He's a precise route runner who can be trusted to make tough catches in tight coverage. His ability to break away and turn short catches into big gains could complement Metcalf's physicality and speed perfectly. It's a dynamic that defenses would struggle to handle, especially with Rodgers orchestrating the attack. This combination of talent and experience could turn the Steelers' offense into one of the most explosive units in the league, elevating their chances of making a deep playoff run and ultimately chasing another Super Bowl. Now, I have to highlight the strategic aspect here. The Steelers are making an aggressive move to contend right now. They're not just building for the future, they want to win now. Signing Rodgers was a clear statement of that intent. But to truly maximize their Super Bowl potential, they need to add that extra piece, that spark, that game changer. And McLaurin could be exactly that. His presence on the field would force defenses to reconsider, to double-team, to adjust their schemes. That creates opportunities for other players, opens up the run game, and makes the entire offense more dangerous. But of course, no trade is ever without its risks. The Commanders would want a significant return, and a second-round pick might seem modest in comparison to McLaurin's talent. They might hold out for a higher pick or other assets, but in this scenario, it's clear that both sides could see benefits. The Steelers get a proven star receiver, boosting their Super Bowl odds. Washington gets a valuable draft pick and a promising young receiver in Calvin Austin, who could develop into a solid contributor. It's a trade that makes sense on many levels, especially if the Steelers are willing to pay the price. Looking ahead, if this trade does happen, it could signal a shift in the AFC North hierarchy. The Steelers, with their revamped offense and solid defense, could emerge as one of the top teams in the conference. Meanwhile, the Commanders might have to reevaluate their roster strategy, especially if they decide to move on from McLaurin and rebuild around their other core pieces. The league is always in flux, and moves like this can have ripple effects that last for years. It's what makes the NFL offseason so exciting: the anticipation, the strategic maneuvers, and the potential for a team like the Steelers to finally get over the hump and bring another Super Bowl trophy back home. So, if you're a Steelers fan, this is the kind of move you want to see. It's bold, it's strategic, and it could be the missing piece that takes this team to the next level. The combination of Rodgers, Metcalf, and potentially McLaurin would be a nightmare for defenses. It's a recipe for success, but it's also a gamble. Only time will tell if this scenario becomes reality, but one thing is for sure: the NFL offseason is heating up, and the Steelers are right in the thick of it, positioning themselves for another shot at glory. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on all this? Do you think a trade for Terry McLaurin makes sense? Would you be willing to part with a second-round pick to bring him to Pittsburgh? Or do you believe the team should focus on other areas? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. Remember, this is a fan community, and your voice helps shape the conversation. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more rumors, and more insights into everything happening around our beloved Steelers. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the faith. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, it's that the Steelers are always aiming for greatness, and this offseason might be the one that sets the stage for yet another Super Bowl run. Thanks for being with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.